Now, when we go in the integers to add numbers, we can use what's called a chip model. In the chip model that our textbook uses, positive integers are represented by yellow chips and negative integers are represented by red chips. And together, if we pair up a yellow chip and a red chip, that makes a zero pair, so they cancel each other out. The integer -1 can be just one red chip, or we could have 2 red and 1 yellow, 3 red and 2 yellow, so on. So if we think about some possible chip models for 2 or -2, we could have just 2 positive chips, 2 yellow chips, or we could add 0 pairs onto this, so we could add a negative and a positive onto those 2 positives, and we still have a value of 2 in this circle. We could continue doing that, so we could have 4 yellows and 2 red. This is still positive 2. Similarly, with the negative values, we can have -2 represented by 2 negative chips, 3 negative chips and 1 positive chip, 4 negative chips and 2 positives, or 5 negative chips and 3 positive chips, and we could continue going like that for a long time. We can also think about integer addition using a number line. So on a number line model, we can think about a cat walking on a line. Different textbooks use a different object to walk on a number line, and a lot of classrooms even put a physical number line on the floor to represent whole numbers and integers. So the rules for walking a number line on the integers when we're adding or subtracting is we always start at 0. So I'm going to start at 0 and I'm going to face the positive direction, so I'm going to turn right. And if that number is positive, the number I'm starting with or adding to, I'm going to walk forward. But if the number is negative, I'm going to walk backward. And so, for example, if I'm going to start with, I'm going to try to model 4 on the number line, my little cat is going to walk 4 forward on the number line. But if I want to model -6, I would take my cat starting at 0 and walk backwards on the number line 6 units. Another way we could represent integers is the charged field model, which is very similar to the number chip model. Positive integers are plus signs, negative integers are negatives. So this model here is 3 positives and 5 negatives, 3 plus -5. So if we're putting those two together, we are left with -2, and we can see that these 3 pairs would become 0 and leave us with just -2. So for example, a problem you might see in the elementary grades is the temperature was -4 degrees Celsius. In an hour, it rose 10 degrees Celsius. What is the new temperature? So this problem is getting at -4 plus 10. So I can start at my point -4 on my thermometer. This is really just a vertical number line. And then I increase by 10 units, and I have 6 degrees Celsius. So the new temperature is 6 degrees. We can also use patterns to think about integer addition and subtraction. So if we start with whole number facts and then move into what happens when we start with negative integers, we can recognize that 4 plus 3 is 7. If we add 1 less, then 4 plus 2 gives us 6. If we add 1 less, 4 plus 1 gives us 5. Add 1 less, 4 plus 0 equals 4. If we add 1 less than 0, if we add -1, we get 3. If we add 1 less than -1, we get 2, and so forth. So we can identify what's happening when we add 1 less number. The sum decreases by 1 every time.